We started 5 and 2 after many years of involvement with an organization called Scripture Union Peru. We were involved in supporting the building of an orphanage, and after a number of trips every year to help with that, really started to see a need for something to add on to what they were doing.
Scott and I were talking about some frustrations regarding his desire for get involved in missionary service in Peru or in Latin America, and the system or the process at the time was just not coming together. And I just felt in my heart, not just with Scott, but also with my son Dave and some of the other young men in our church, that there must be something that we could do that would really help the street boys in Peru, would continue the ministry, would give hope and encouragement, and that we should try to explore that.
And Scott came to a group of us back home in the States and just asked if what we might be able to do to help these boys kind of get kind of out of the orphanage and on their own. And he had this idea of possibly starting a business.
I got involved with 5 and 2 Investments through Scott Ross and Jeremy Snow, who were customers here. They started telling me about an idea they had that could involve coffee, and I was sharing the coffee business with them. They thought it might be a good match for what they were thinking, and so we got together and talked about the opportunity and how we could benefit the boys' home and just the mission in general.
And as we started to consider that more, we really decided that more than just to create one business for helping support an orphanage, what we really wanted to do was create a model that would allow us to start small businesses to support missions work and ministries all over the world through the starting of small businesses. And so that's really what we at 5 and 2 Investment have set out to do.
And we chewed on that probably for about a year and a half, prayed through it, looked at different business models, tried to figure out exactly what would work, what wouldn't work. We kind of went down the nonprofit route. We ended up though establishing 5 and 2 as a for-profit. And we did that for several reasons. One is we really wanted to ingrain in the folks that we were going to be working with what the free market principles were. We wanted the businesses to be profitable for the boys and the Peruvians who might be working in the business. And then we wanted that business to be able to sustain them as well as allow them to be able to sustain a local church.
I'm very passionate about 5 and 2 Investment Corporation for many reasons. One, I've served as a full-time missionary in the past and also have been involved in business. And I really have felt there's needed to be a model for bringing business and missions together. And I know there are different groups that have already begun that process along various lines. There's been micro-business investment in the third world and other kinds of operations like that. But we were looking at something different in the 5 and 2 Investment Corporation. Our first project, being on behalf of the street boys in Peru, and as sort of our test case to see how this could be done, working closely with nationals to encourage them, to give them ideas of how free enterprise works, and then to still have a hand in things, still have them be accountable, to the local church and other believers, but to really give them the freedom to fly and to do whatever God puts on their hearts as young businessmen.
Scott and Julia were willing to come here and live to help get the business started. So we would have somebody here with feet on the ground that had a business background that kind of understood what it took to run the business and could help the Peruvian young men who we would be teaming with to help understand how to run that business, with the eventual plan of that business being turned over to them.
So we're really hoping that other people will come forward to us with specific places and specific businesses maybe that they have in mind that they would like to take our model and work with us, either with us or people that we know being involved in the actual place or helping to set up other people in those places. So we are very excited for other people to come and get involved along with us, specifically in places that the Lord has on their heart.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about that. Really, all we need is one other person or a couple other people who had a similar heart for a place like we did, and something like this could be beginning again in another country, and hopefully down the road in many countries.
We see this as a major new model that could be adapted in other countries, we hope. That's our dream, that's our prayer, and we hope to launch from this in looking at other opportunities and encouraging others to obviously continue with traditional missions, but to also look at this possibility of investment for something that will benefit everyone as the Lord leads, and that's our exciting vision for 5 and 2.